Hello, everyone. This is Gabby at English Staples. Welcome, welcome, welcome. In today's lesson, we will study ability in the past, focusing on the use of could in past ability versus be able to in past ability. What these two past abilities could and be able to mean, when to use these two past abilities with examples, and using them in the affirmative, negative, and question forms with examples. At the end of the lesson, there will be 5 sets of 5 questions, practice exercises, and their answers. Ability in the past, could. Notice the pronunciation of this word, could. The L is silent. Shh. What is could? Could is a modal. The word could has many meanings, but in this lesson, the focus is on could being used as the past tense of can. What is a modal? A modal is an auxiliary verb, which means it's a helping verb. What does a modal do in a sentence? 1. A modal helps the main verb in a sentence. How does it help? That brings us to the second job of a modal in a sentence. It gives meaning to the main verb that follows it. For example, last year he could speak only Spanish. Here we see the main verb speak follows the modal could in this sentence. And the third job of the modal is, in this case, could expresses ability. Let's take a graphic look at how could gives ability to speak. The man has the skill to speak. So graphically, this is what it looks like. The man, he has the skill to speak. The modal could gives the meaning of ability to the verb speak. Let's see what that looks like graphically. So we have ability here. Could gives ability to speak. You see that? So this entire combined idea is then credited to the subject, he. Ability plus skill, the entire combined idea of ability plus skill is credited to the subject, he. He has the ability to speak only Spanish. So we can say last year he could speak only Spanish. It is perfectly safe and accurate to say that could can describe 1. General abilities in the past. 2. Habitual abilities in the past. And 3. Routine abilities in the past. All 3 abilities can take affirmative, negative, and interrogative forms naturally with could. However, the fourth specific abilities in the past cannot take affirmative naturally with could, but it can take negative and interrogative forms naturally with could. Specific abilities in the past take affirmative naturally with be able to, this fourth ability, and this we will explore later. We just finished talking about this, and I'll use this copy as our checklist. The first on the list that we are going to talk about is general abilities in the past. General abilities in the past refers to what someone was capable of doing at any time in the past. For example, having a skill or talent. What do we mean when we say skill? The word skill is a noun. It means learned ability or expertise. And the word talent is also a noun, and it means natural or inborn abilities like see, hear, taste, feel, smell, or senses. Those are inborn abilities. When she was younger, she could do 100 push ups straight. So this sentence is in the affirmative. This is a skill. This is something that she learned to do, and over time, she could do 100 straight without stopping. In the negative, when she was younger, she could not do 100 push ups. And we can contract could not to couldn't. When she was younger, she couldn't do 100 push ups. Yes, no question. Could she do 100 push ups when she was younger? WH question. Why could she do 100 push ups when she was younger? These four examples describe ability in general. They are not about specific successful situations or specific abilities or single events. Okay, so we can scratch the first one off our checklist. Let's look at number 2 now, habitual abilities in the past. Could as habitual ability in the past refers to what someone was capable of regularly doing at any time in the past. For example, drinking very hot beverages, smoking, humming. So these are just a few examples of habits that someone was capable of regularly doing at any time in the past, right? Humming is a gerund, and it means singing with the lips closed. An example of humming would be like mm, 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 mm. You're not using words, but you're singing a song. A lot of people hum, and for different reasons, when they're working, maybe when they're concentrating on something. It could be a time of feeling happy about something or maybe sad about something. Yeah, humming. And when we talk about hot beverages, that could be coffee, tea, cocoa, chocolate, milk, have different hot beverages. In the affirmative, back then, my sister could drink her coffee scalding hot. What does back then mean? Back then is an adverbial phrase and it means in the past. Scalding hot is an adjective phrase and it means extremely hot. See, she's drinking her coffee. It's extremely hot. Back then, my sister could not drink her coffee scalding hot. So this is the negative sentence. Or we could say, back then, my sister couldn't drink her coffee scalding hot. Yes, no question is, could my sister drink her coffee scalding hot back then? And then the WH question, when could my sister drink her coffee scalding hot? These four examples describe what was usually possible or not possible in a repeated situation. It was habitual. These examples are not about one time specific successful occasions. In other words, specific abilities or single events. That's not what these are about. So we have checked this one. So let's move on to the third one, which is routine ability. Could as routine ability in the past refers to what someone was capable of consciously doing at any time in the past. For example, exercising, waking up at a certain time, eating breakfast. These are all routine abilities. Mummy could climb the stairs easily back in the day. Mummy is another name for mother. Some people say mom, some people say mommy. Climb the stairs. Climb the stairs is a verb phrase and it means walk up the stairs. Mommy could climb the stairs easily. Back in the day is an adverbial phrase and it means a general time in the past. It's usually remembered fondly or not. You could say, like, back in the day, we used to wear a flower in our hair and use the peace sign back in the day. You remember those days with warmth. It's a nice thing to remember. Or if it's not fondness, you could probably say, back in the day when I was in elementary school, teachers used to spank us. That's not a fond memory. This sentence is actually routine ability in the past, in the affirmative. Now, here we have it, but this time it's in the negative. Mommy could not climb the stairs so easily anymore. So you can see her going up the stairs, but she needs some help. So her husband is helping her, and he bought her flowers. He's such a sweet man. Yes, no question. Could Mummy climb the stairs in her golden years? Golden years is a noun phrase, and it means period of retirement. And this period of retirement varies from country to country. In some countries, it's people somewhere in your 50s. Here in the US, formally it's 65 years old. Of course, some people retire later or earlier. And in some countries, it might be later than 65. That varies. WH question: what could Mummy climb in her golden years? These four examples describe repeated, regular past ability within a pattern. That's routine. It was all repeated, regular past abilities, but they were within a pattern. They're not about a one-time specific successful occasion. On our checklist, we've completed number 3. Now we're going to look at number 4, specific abilities in the past. Specific past ability refers to the successful use of an ability to complete or achieve a specific action on a single particular occasion. In specific past situations or abilities, could cannot be used in the affirmative. Why? Because could shows potential, and specific abilities in the past shows completion or achievement. Potential is a noun and it means something that can happen, or capability. Achievement is success. In other words, having ability does not equal to completion or achievement. So that's what this is saying. Could shows potential, something that can happen. And the specific past ability shows something is completed or achieved. So here, having ability or potential does not equal completion or achievement. For example, yesterday he could fix the computer. No, we cannot say that because here, this is an affirmative sentence, right? But could is showing potential. It shows that something could happen or there was capability, but the job was not completed. So we cannot say yesterday he could fix the computer. The computer repairman's having the ability to fix the computer is not the same as his actually fixing it. That's what this sentence is saying. Okay, I keep the notes from the last few points that we made here, just for easy reference as we continue speaking about this specific abilities in the past with could. When could is used in an affirmative sentence about a specific past situation, like we saw here, it does not confirm that the action actually happened. That's exactly what we said here. Yesterday, he could fix the computer. We're just repeating the same sentence, just to have it here. And that does not work. In this sentence, here, the listener is waiting to hear a contrast or a condition because the sentence sounds incomplete. Yesterday, he could fix the computer. Okay, so they're asking, you're expecting more information. Naturally, the listener could expect an explanation like, yesterday, he could fix the computer, but he didn't have the parts. Right? So that's like a contrast. This, but he didn't have the parts. Or we could have, yesterday, he could fix the computer had he had the right tools. So that's like a condition. Had he had the right tools, or if he had the right tools. So, this is what the listener would expect to hear, some additional information. It just wouldn't work at just yesterday he could fix the computer. Why didn't he fix it? That's like a natural thing to ask. So, in the affirmative, it does not work, it's incomplete. But could can be used in both negative and interrogative forms in specific past situations. The negative and the interrogative forms are okay. Yesterday, he couldn't fix the computer. That's okay. It's in the negative. Could he fix the computer yesterday? That's okay because it's in the interrogative. It's in yes no question. Why could he fix the computer yesterday? We can easily answer these questions. To reiterate, in specific past situations or specific past abilities, could cannot be used in the affirmative form. Why? Because could shows potential. The ability that could expresses shows potential. And specific past shows completion or achievement. In other words, having ability does not equal achievement or completion. We could finish our homework last night. We could finish our homework last night. But I'm expecting some more information there. So we can't say this. It doesn't work that way. So that's wrong. However, could can be used in both negative and interrogative forms in specific past situations. We couldn't finish our homework last night. And that's okay. Could we finish our homework last night? And that's okay. Why could we finish our homework last night? That's okay. So these three are okay. So, how can we handle the affirmative form in specific past situations? How can we handle this? How can we make this right? Use the modal like phrase, be able to. That's what we do. So instead of could, we'd use be able to. That's the solution. Notice they say here modal like phrase because be able to is not a modal. It's similar, it acts like a modal, it behaves just like a modal, but it's not a modal. That's the reason why it's called modal like phrase. So here are the children doing their homework. So now we're going to look at the be able to with specific ability in the past, right? So the be, this part is the be was, and were. These are past tense, singular, plural, of be able to. It's perfectly safe and accurate to say that in affirmative sentences for specific past events, was able to or were able to expresses both ability and the actual achievement or success of an event or situation. That's why be able to works perfectly for the affirmative because it expresses both ability and the actual achievement or success of an event or situation. They were able to meet the pop artists backstage. Okay, a couple of words here. Who are pop artists? Pop artists is a noun phrase and it means musicians in the pop music genre. Backstage is a noun and it's the area behind the stage in a theater or concert hall. Like here, you have the artists on stage, and behind them in the back here is backstage. The negative, they weren't able to meet the pop artists backstage. Yes, no question. Were they able to meet the pop artists backstage? Double H question. When were they able to meet the pop artists backstage? Okay, let's do a quick review and corrections here. So remember we talked about the computer repairman? Well, the sentence that we had there that didn't work was yesterday he could fix the computer. So that sentence is still wrong. it's wrong. So how can we fix it? We can So it's going to be yesterday he was able to fix the computer. Perfect. Was able to shows both the ability, he had the tools or he had the time, and he actually fixed the computer. He was able to is a perfect phrase to use in this case. We could finish our homework last night. Remember, we saw this with the children, and it was incorrect. But how can we fix it? How can we correct it? We can cross out could and insert were able to. We were able to finish our homework last night. That's the correct thing to say. Because here, we're able to shows ability. The ability here was they had the proper materials and information to complete the homework. Maybe they were not very tired, so they could finish the homework. Maybe they had completed their chores. They successfully completed the homework. Let's do some practice exercises. So this is the first of the 5. Let's do a couple of these together. The instructions are use could for general, habitual, routine abilities, or was able to or were able to for specific abilities or successful situations. We're going to circle the correct answer. Let's do number 1 together. When I was 5, I read and write. If you say could, that's correct. Reading and writing are skills. They're under general. So we would use could. Let's do another one together. How about number 5? Last night, the baby sleep for the first time without crying. If you say was able to, that's correct. I totally agree with you. The baby slept for the first time without crying. It's a one-time thing. So it's a specific ability. Now you can pause the video and complete the rest. When you're finished, press play to see the answers. Here are the answers. Did you get them right? Practice exercise 2. The instructions are the same. Let's do a couple together again. Let's do number 4 together. After trying for hours, he finally fixed the engine. What do you think here? Was able to. That's correct. I totally agree with that. After trying for hours, he finally was able to fix the engine. It's a one-time situation. He was trying to fix this thing. And finally, he was able to do it. It's not a recurring situation. It's a one-time situation. So he had the ability and he completed the job. Let's do one more. How about number 5? This one. I hear the thunder from miles away last night. What do you think? If you answered could, I agree with you 100%. Why could? Because it's here. It's a natural inborn ability. Okay, so that's under general. You were able to hear the thunder from miles away. Do you see that? Now pause the video and answer the other 3 questions. Press play to see the answers. Here are the answers. Did you get them right? Practice exercise 3. Use could, was, or were able to, or another suitable form. Let's do one together. How about number 3? By the time we arrived, the speaker had already left. So we meet her in person. What do you think that could possibly be? Could, was, or were able to, or another suitable form. And when we said suitable form, I'm talking about question or negative. By the time we arrived, the speaker had already left, so we weren't able to meet her in person. I agree 100%. It's a one-time situation that we were going to meet this person. It's not a common, regular, repeated situation. It's not a habit. It's not a routine. It's not, some special skill. It's nothing like that. A one-time specific situation where we were supposed to meet with this speaker. Now pause the video, complete the exercise, and then press play to check your answers. Here are the answers. Did you get them right? Here's the fourth practice exercise. We're going to choose could, was able to, or were able to, or another suitable form. Should we do one together? Let's do one together. How about number 5, the last one? The sound was faint, but I think I make out someone crying. What does faint mean? It's an adjective and it means not clear or weak or quiet. The sound was not clear, or it's a weak sound, or it's a quiet sound, very faint. But I make out. Make out is a phrasal verb and it means to hear but with some difficulty. You can hear something, but it's not very easy to hear. So, what do we have here? If you say could, I totally agree with you. Why do we use could? Because of the hearing. Hear is a natural ability, it's an inborn ability, one of our senses, right? Now, pause the video, complete the exercise. When you finish, press play to see the answers. Here are the answers. Did you get them right? And this is the last practice exercise. Again, we're going to choose could, was able to, or were able to, or another suitable form. Let's do number 2 together. When I was a teenager, I stay up all night and still go to school the next day. What do you think? If you say could, I totally agree with you. This would fall under habitual. It says, when I was a teenager. So it sounds like when this person was a teenager, they would just stay up all night and still go to school the next day. So it sounds like a habit to me. So it would be could. Pause the video and complete the exercise. When you're finished, press play to see the answers. Here are the answers. Did you get them right? So we've come to the end of the lesson. Please write in the comments the last sound you hear in this video. See you in the next lesson. Bye!